We got some news, Gavin. One of the first ones here is some Call of Duty news. We got Call of Duty Warzone Season 4 Reloaded update to add limited time 200 player matches. So this is pretty nuts here. Adam Bankers from
It's gonna
IGN.
be fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, just piles of people on top of each other, just like bumping into each other, apparently.
Oh
But
my
we got
God.
some details here. Call of Duty Warzone will soon be getting a new limited time 200 player battle royale mode that will allow 50 quads of operators to fight for victory. This new mode will arrive alongside a brand new Season 4 Reloaded update on June 29th that will also add a new weapon, map, operator, and much more. Warzone currently supports up to 150 players, and this new limited time quads mode will allow 50 more players. So here's what gets, here's the details though on that. The update will have a download size of 22 to 36 gigabytes for owners of the full version of Modern Warfare, with console owners needing a secondary 3.5 gigabyte download. Free-to-play Warzone players can expect a download of 22 to 30 gigabytes. According to Activision, once these updates are finished, there will be a reduction to the overall footprint on their machines. That's their quote. Also, as far as the modes that go with this, Juggernaut Royale mode will also become available. In this mode, there will be an airdropped care packages that will allow players to become the Juggernaut with a minigun and high armor. Once a Juggernaut is defeated, a new care package will drop, giving someone else a chance to become the fearsome soldier. A spotter scope will also be put around Verdansk, which is the town or the city that this takes place. While sniper scopes can be spotted by other players by the glint of the sunshine when they are used, this new scope has none of that. If found, players can scan the environment and find enemies without so much fear of using a regular scope. I love that they're increasing this to 200 players, but also what comes with the 200 players is 200 additional gigabytes basically of like this file size. Is getting ridiculous.
And that's limited time though, the 200 players,
It
because
is.
that's the thing. I feel like these maps are not designed for 200 players. But that being said, fuck it. It almost reminds me of like League of Legends has this mode called Earth that it brings around every now and then. It's called Ultra Rapid Fire. The game is not designed for it, but it's fun, so we fuck around and do it. So this is just to fuck around and have some extra fun for a little bit. Expect to die within seconds of arriving. So that's pretty neat. That being said, people are going to need a separate hard drive just for this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there is that quote. They said that they're going to somehow reduce the footprint afterwards. I don't know what that means. Does the game actually like on its own delete, parts of the updates that it doesn't need? I feel like I don't hear about it doing that, but maybe it does.
Yeah, I think most updates kind of do that. If you're
Okay.
patching stuff, like, right, because you're not like, if I'm updating a piece of code, you're not leaving the other piece of code, right? If I'm bringing in a new asset that takes the place of another asset, you're still deleting that asset.
Gotcha.
So that should be fine.
Okay. Yeah, as long as they can reduce that footprint, I think then the meme of this whole thing can kind of be to let to the past. If they can kind of bring this back down to something that's more manageable, 75 gigs or something like that. If that's not insane already. But yeah, I mean, 200 players, that's dope. I do feel like the map is big enough. There's times where I'm running around and I don't see people. Maybe I'm jumping out into like unpopulated areas, but I feel like there is room there for 200 people. Although, I mean, I'm interested to see how that looks though.
Yeah, I think the thing that'll definitely come with 200 people though is like when you win a 1 versus 99, you feel so great. Imagine the feeling of beating 200 people. That's
Right.
fucking ridiculous. Gonna feel like such a badass, and somebody's got to win it. So that'll be pretty neat. I'd be curious. I'd love to see them just like keep pushing it. So like, all right, today's 200. Tomorrow will be 201. The next day will be 202, and just keep growing and see how high before this game becomes unplayable.
Right.
Would be fun. That being said, I don't think they'll do that, but I would love it if they did and just push it to the limits. I'm sure 200 is going to be tough enough as is. Really, the more people you pack into one area, the harder it is for the game to run and keep everyone updated properly when it's. So that's sort of the benefit it has, is keeping people so far separate solves a lot of those issues.
Right. I wonder if they would have to eventually force everyone out at a certain point and not just let people choose where they drop, kind of like force them along the map so it does spread them out. That might not be a favorite thing or like a popular thing among fans playing it, but that might be what they have to do to actually make it runnable.
I've always wondered about that, like with some of these, like when do they actually spawn in the weapons? Is there a way to encourage people to, especially with PUBG? Like I always thought it'd be smart if they encourage better weapons to spawn at like if you're further away from people or if you're closer to people. I don't really know how you do it, but or for that matter, like let's say there's a town that no one's been to yet, right? So if you arrive there, you're the first one there, but you traveled a long distance to get there, then it's going to have way better guns. But if you're traveling much
Oh,
slower,
interesting.
not going through a lot of towns, it spawns worse stuff. So basically, it's discouraging camping and
Yeah.
really encouraging moving about. I don't know.
That is interesting. I mean, I like that how that benefits a more positive or gameplay that's like constructive to the whole thing overall. I do imagine people still spamming it, understanding exactly what they need to do to like
Sure.
unlock stuff. But and maybe there's a argument for people wanting just pure randomness. I don't know if that's exactly how these games
Yeah.
generate everything, but maybe there's two modes they can make. But no, I like that
Sure.
idea of actually rewarding people from being good sports, basically.
Right. And that's something I've thought about too with the ring, right? Is you take, people who are moving a lot, take their average position and have where the next center of the ring is be more centered towards them. So the people that want to just sit back and chill the fuck out really have to move. Uh, but that being said, that would make it so the ring is always going to perpetually go towards the center, basically, no matter what. Even if these people are fucking off towards the sides of the map, it's always going to round towards the center. So I don't know how you fix it.
Do you remember a while back? So it was like Cliff Blazinski, who is his the boss key. His the last game they put out was their attempt at like this like open world or it was a battle royale, but they had these like quadrants that would shut off, but they were
Oh,
kind of random. They weren't like in a shrinking circle. It was just like a grid that would change.
are you sure you're not thinking of
It might have been done by somebody else, but I remember that's what the one of their
Darwin
things is.
Project? Because he definitely, Clip Blazinski was definitely working on a battle royale. It was like 70s themed, or yeah,
Yeah, it was like rad. It was like something kind of. It was
but
just like
90s.
balls to the wall. Maybe
Yeah,
90s, but it was all like radical and colorful, and people shredding on guitars and skateboarding and shooting each other. And yeah,
yeah. It
but I
was.
think they did the
I hear it was
quadrant thing.
actually fun. Yeah, maybe they did, and I didn't know about it. I know for sure Darwin Project did a hex system,
Mm,
which was interesting because if the center hex got taken out, um, then that made getting around a lot harder. Um, but having that quadrant or that hex system is more true to the movie Battle Royale.
right.
So there's sort of that there. I need to watch that movie again. It's been forever and a day.
I've never seen it. I know a lot of this takes inspiration, or yeah, inspiration from that, but I've never seen it.
It's good. Yeah, it's just a bunch of high school kids and they're all given a random weapon and some of their weapons suck. And like there's a couple of kids that like volunteer to be on this island because they're crazy. It's a fun flick. It's a fun flick.
That's what I've heard. That's one I need to actually go and play here. But
Yeah.